Still posting and there we go.
Oh, now you get it.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
Do the happy.
Yeah, but give him a minute. Give him a minute. I feel like somebody's watching.
Yeah, way older than that.
Popular song.
Way older than that.
No.
Look at the high pitch thing.
Remember, it is two sides, so when you're happy that you finished the first page, flip it.
It's better than being a two-sided test.
When you're happy that you're done, you must have been.
I love the
You know, she was a baby.
whatever.
Sucks. I don't know about any of it.
It's rock.
Right.
I'm not.
You're not sure of what one?
That don't think too hard.
I was too, but I know a few songs that I was Well, it's coming back. If you listen to the new Hillsong album, it's all 80s synth and.
So if anybody needs coffee, Brian made coffee too, so it's in the kitchen.
Bless you, my
What?
He didn't get this spoon. That's good.
Wow, Nick.
Get over yourself.
Nick, we got grapes. And
Okay,
chips,
It's grapes,
salsa.
chips, mango salsa.
And we got you pistachios.
I like
But aren't
grapes
the
and salsa.
flowers gorgeous?
Honestly, we got meat
Yeah.
pistachios.
That's beautiful. Oh.
It just looks nice.
Isn't there something to it? Yeah. It doesn't smell like a boys' locker room.
Blame it on the
Does
freshness.
at the end of JHS.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Especially activity debriefing. When you sit down after the activity debriefing. No. Whoa. Some of these 7th grade boys need to learn what the word deodorant is.
Yeah.
This is the games training count that we did up at RCF. That's okay.
Yeah.
Good, because that's the only one I
As you
did.
guys are,
We're here for the I had to work. I had to work.
as you guys are processing this, if there's
I'm
something that
gonna
you're not
today.
sure on, it's something to consider when evaluating events and such, and we'll get into this more as we talk about some of the events and stuff we've done. Is ask yourself 4 questions: what worked, what didn't work, what should we have had that maybe we didn't have, like what could we add in to make it better, and what is there anything that we need to remove or like make sure we don't do it. And so,
Yeah, is
like,
there a
whether that's
sacred
through
cow?
the summer or whatever.
A sacred cow that needs to be slaughtered.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, because sometimes those things, like we're not doing stuff that sucks intentionally. So if something doesn't work and we're not seeing it, we're doing it because we don't see that it doesn't work. Not because
And it's
we're like,
okay if
oh.
the sacred cow is already on the calendar. We'll slaughter it. Kids won't see these for a little while. So, I should say students won't see these for a little while, other than student groups. So,
Yeah. So
you guys get sacred information.
what worked? What didn't work? What should we add? What do we need to remove? And that doesn't have to apply to every question, but it's another way to help process all the stuff that we did. As we go through.
And there's like 3 other trainings today, so some of our people that are in multiple ministries are not here presently because of other trainings that they are attending today. I.e., our wives, because we had children and they didn't want to be gone the whole day. Debbie, you're going to check-in training later today, I think? Thank you for showing up
Any
for
other
the whole
adults
day.
like to go to check-in training?
I don't
What?
know.
That's
Yeah,
the
that's
thing.
true.
Jenna.
Jenna's a pro.
Me too, Jenna.
Jenna and Amy
We're
both have
so valuable. We're
check-in
got
jump.
it.
All of a sudden we have like 5 people or 6 people.
Oh. So the past 40 years was mentioned briefly. Is that the high school?
You cannot go to future. You cannot, no, yes, it's for high school.
Because we were talking
I don't
earlier this
remember.
year about me helping plan
teaching
high
second
school. Is that still something that?
We can put that on the future calendar, we just don't have it on this one because we don't have it set. No, you don't have the future calendar, it's in my hands right here. We're doing past
And the
first,
balls and kids.
then present,
Okay.
then future.
You said
That's the
that.
only one. I remember that one.
No, it's okay. We will reiterate it. So, yo. I don't think we picked this
Oh,
one.
it's next year, man. Oh,
Not you, Ryan.
too many Ryans.
So, he said if there's any way I can come by this afternoon, go through the thing, like this way, everybody understands.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't do it. Just got the text. Oh, hey.
Yeah, really. Just your phone, you said little dots.
But,
Okay.
Just in case.
Bring it up what? Uncool, but check with Deb. We'll put this on the big screen.
That's what we're doing right now. Just in case you're wondering. That's page 1.
What are you doing? What is on the website?
It also.
Right.
Now that picture.
So, no, that's backwards, right? So, we had a.
It's just for them to see what we're doing. There's some mini meetings planned for people too, so.
We got some lessons schools. We have the downstairs. I don't want to lay around.
Ryan, will you go over your concepts one more time real quick?
Yeah,
Everybody listen up one more time, please.
as you're going through, what worked, what didn't, what do we need to add, what do we need to kill? Does everyone see how all 4 of those are different?
Even if it's snack item for the meeting.
4 of what are different?
Like what worked and what do we need to add or to?
So mango sauce is black bean and
What didn't work and what do we
No,
need
it's all right.
to
We're not asking.
Yeah.
If something cannot work, but we can fix it, or something can just be terrible that we should destroy. Like management.
Way to be honest.
Are you Aztec?
Yes, I did.
Aztec.
Water.
I'm sorry that there's a terrible car named after you.
Water, coffee, and Izzy's. I mean, what else?
We have these knives.
We have water, coffee, and Izzy's.
How did you answer number 1?
Aztec.
Oh, I guess that's I don't know how far you can remember
How
that.
did you say? You asked it?
I remember that.
Brandon, what did you ask about that?
Oh, I'm like,
Oh, okay.
Max said, we need to dig some mango salsa. We need to have, what is it? Black bean and corn sauce. Black bean and corn sauce. And I'm like, no, we're not Aztec. We need mango.
And then you said something to Matthew?
Oh, he's like,
No, I heard that too, Debbie. See, that's, she heard.
Maybe.
You're crazy. You don't even know what you said.
Hey, we're tracing this conversation back to the room. That would be
I've
nice.
got it on film. I'll play it back.
if you guys want the mango salsa, just get another one too.
I don't like salsa.
Matt.
You mean you don't like that?
No, no. What we do for the people who don't like mango salsa is offer dry chips, grapes, and pistachios.
I love it.
And Mac, you
It
just
also
look like a
helped
walk down the
birthday,
road.
so
Go get
maybe
your
that
own
much
tall
easier.
Spider
My
pants.
16th birthday, so I was like,
Iguana bits, you
my
know,
best
dried
friend,
iguana.
I forgot.
Dried iguana?
So I was really
Dried iguana.
They forgot 2 years ago.
Did you ever see Ace Ventura 2?
Okay, we're gonna give you guys like 1 more minute, and we're gonna review some of this.
Yeah, because you guys, because if it was something bad, you guys played it off as something.
Changed it.
Yeah, you guys.
Adapted.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's awesome. That's good feedback. Like, not all of them have to apply. It's possible occasionally to be able to have an evaluation and go, oh, I don't really have anything in the negative column. There wasn't anything that true or
Sometimes you don't always notice it from a leader standpoint.
and that's good.
If you don't notice from a leader standpoint, then we probably did okay. Definitely, like if leaders don't notice it, then students probably are not noticing it.
Unless you're just in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those of you who aren't students, it's helpful to us as well to have you evaluate it from the perspective of just a participant as well as somebody in charge of it. So on either side, when you're part of that. But hopefully, as you begin to go through these, even when you're just participating in an event, there will be aspects that stick out to you and go, oh, like Mandy and I do this all the time at church, like when we see things go on or when we see the way they like announce Pastor Sonny coming on, you know, changing to that role and all of that, like from a leadership perspective, Mandy, who's not on staff, like, wow, that was awesome. Helps you evaluate what's going on if you're not one of the part of the leadership.
Okie dokie. Step 2 is going to take a long time, so we're just go ahead and do a little bit of review right now. Hey!
No, sit over here with the cool people.
Peer pressure. Peer pressure.
Get some snacks. There you go. That's
I feel like peer pressure in church is a total oxymoron.
Stop here on the table.
What?
Stop here on the table.
If you notice, we are going to
Wow.
actually not
Very
keep
tough.
these because we did not hold one. So we're going to do a little bit of review, just so that our people that are watching at home can get some understanding of where we are with this. And then everybody that will then turn in their papers, we'll just do a little review. So, summer. A bit of warfare. Okay.
Fellowship about high school.
Hang Time was a great addition, and we thank Amy and Debbie for making that happen. And those, yes. Kudos.
No, just do what mom wanted.
I like Sam's sweater.
Okay, Nick. Whoa, did
Why
you just
not?
look like
Anything else?
like I was going to speak on Hang Time is not going to be included on our calendar just because we'll have a calendar meeting in the late spring where we'll add in all those Tahoe Thursdays and Hang Time and all the different things that we do for relations ministry over the summer. So we'll put it in it because there's just no stuff that
Alex, we were able to experience on a more spiritual level and have them actually talk to us back and not just come to like church and then just like all the emotions and then just leave with or they cannot
it's an Elevate Camp. Okay.
Parent in a little bit, I do. I think the summer camps, from the standpoint of being able to connect with people in the church on that level, those is something that so really think that
on trading license plate sales. So when we bring the license plate out cover sales, I think there was more people will want them, or I'll put them out for like 2 weeks at a time, so it's not. It's fundraising for assistance. That's not part we had put out the calendar. People still couldn't get the clue of how the calendar worked. It's a calendar.
There's a key.
Right, and I'm not saying the church should supply that, but somehow create
Different lives at
different
different
times, a network somehow, and I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know if really it can be done, but
It's something to consider, that's for sure.
or maybe maybe there's a sign up thing of people that say, hey, I can go this time. I know that was one of the issues, and not knowing who's going. I don't know who necessarily called.
Well,
But it was
we had drivers
issue.
bail on Thursday morning, so it's just one of those
Yeah.
things.
So you
I don't know if we're ever going to get that solid. It's something definitely to work out. Like, here's the people that are driving. Contact them if you want to ride. But yeah,
It would also be good to have proper Saturdays occasionally.
Saturdays are so packed. We're not going to
Yeah,
even try.
we'd have to get there
Yeah.
at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
and wait.
The best days up there at Sand Harbor, and which is a great place to have a group, is really Tuesdays and Thursdays. The rest, I don't even know why Wednesdays are more packed, but the rest of the week is just like more packed. So
Are you finding it that first you're in the day during
Right.
yeah,
Right there with you.
And that's one of the advantages of working. Is that
Yeah.
you get down on a lot.
that's true. Okay.
Can I just?
Yes.
So, Taco Thursdays, it seems to be the Thursday. There used to be a program of the local bus so throw it out there. It probably would source versus just a youth ministry resource. But has there been ever any conversation about investing in vans for the church to check out different ministries?
I think at some point they've had a lot of that. We do have a bus. Our
But it's not-
school bus is ours.
There's a lot. How many? Is there an issue of how many drivers are available? How much gas
Yeah.
costs for the bus?
There's a lot of issues.
I used to be at a church that had vans, and I will say, like, it's hard to find. You need a special license to drive a van with 9 passenger seats.
Not
Most of
really.
those big.
Not here, you don't have to have a special license.
No, you don't hear.
Huh. See, California laws are
15
harder.
only.
Okay.
California.
So, all right. So that, but then also the insurance. is a lot
Insurance,
different. If you're driving a
maintenance.
church vehicle, it's a lot more, than maintenance and everything else.
Well, and
Yeah.
you gotta have all the people that drive the different buses,
Yeah.
vans on the insurance.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, if
Yeah,
the
you
money's
have to
there,
have
we've
people.
actually part of the we do a layered budget basically. Is we do what our kind of their backbone is what we have. And because you don't. So that's part of our backbone budget, and then we have a couple other layers, and our last layer is our dream layer. And I actually priced out a charter bus for our dream layer and just put it in there, for fun, and then just if we actually were booking, why not, right? So no, I think like Debbie in that way. I try to go out there and go, what's the possibility?
No.
And all is no, and all. And that's really what it comes down to is numbers. And then for something like that. So,
It would make
but-
more sense to do one bus versus just a couple smaller.
right, and I mean, you guys can pray for it because I see it as a feasibility. We could actually pay with all the events that our church does if we did both of our camps and kids camp and some of the other things. If we let's say we rented out for all that and vlog for the Women of Grace trip,
Right.
I'm sorry, the Women of Faith trip. If you start putting those things in there, and then we have to rent one bus instead of 2. You start adding those things up, we can actually pay for that bus in 4 years. So that's really not that bad. I mean, and the bus would, you see some of these. You can get some good life out of $1,000 just laying around.
More or less.
Yeah, so someone owns a bus company. So,
But if you,
It totally was an
yeah, we can do some of those things and see what we can do.
I'll
I mean, because I think having multiple times, that would be cool because there are other events that happen during the summer. There will have to be probably a cost incurred next year for and stuff. People are like, and
that's the kind of thing that when we do summer planning next year, that we can bring up, like, but more game times and stuff.
Yeah. And we're going to have to roll through our things a little bit faster. Last comment on this.
On that note, I do remember hearing something about it being an insurance issue because when we did play it, we played in the big building, and there was kids getting hurt. I know a girl got her earring torn out on the stairway.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of liability with that.
Yeah.
That's why they stopped talking.
Yeah, there are some events that have happened that we can't do again because of things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, there are definitely insurance issues that cost prohibited. So. All right, let's look at training really quick. And like I said, when I say really quick, I mean we have to go through these really quick because we got a ton more stuff to get through today. What was your favorite training this year and why? Quickly, Kate.
Game training, because it helped us get games that were inclusive instead of exclusive.
Okay, the game training. We're going to have a small segment of that during the, I'll give you a look ahead, just sorry, I know we're supposed to do it fast. January 11th is the Youth Leader Reno Summit. We'll be doing that at RCF probably, and that's the most probable date. We're not sure if that's not ironed out, but the Reno area people will be getting together, RCF and SCF and Grace and Hope. So there's a lot of churches that will get involved. I think my dad will be doing a 45-minute class on games. So we're going to have like 4 classes and a lunch break in between. So like 2 classes, then a lunch break. So we'll start like 9:30, so it's reasonable for us to actually get there and other people to get there. But you know, that means we're not leaving at like crack of dawn to get the Reno stuff.
So January 11th?
Yeah, that's the kind of guesstimated thing. We'll start like at 9:30, go for 45 minutes, take a 5-minute break, go another 45 minutes. It's going to be 4 different little workshops going on. So you're going to get some training on some various things. And my dad will be doing the 45-minute talk on games. And not just talk, but you know my dad, he has to be interactive when he does that stuff. So. And then we'll have a lunch break, and it's probably going to be a Dutch thing where you just run out and get something, eat, and then come back. You have an hour. We'll be back at RCF, Ring Christian Fellowship, and then we'll hang out and do 2 more stuff. So, and hopefully people that work in Reno, like the branches, might be able to come part of the time or something. I know Saturdays are not conducive for everybody's schedule. It catches most people's schedule, so that's why we do Saturday trainings. Suicide prevention training. Yeah, that was huge. I really sensed even at camps, our leaders were so much more attuned to it. I was really glad for that because it just seemed like people were aware. Just getting to the ask part of that question, like, are you suicidal right now? You know, that's hard, but doing the role play really helped out with everything. So.
Yeah, me also partnership as leaders, what we're offering to people that are
right.
It's not just facilitating conversation, it's about being there for real life.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't think we're a fluffy youth ministry. So, I mean, we do games well when we do them, but I think we get to the heart of things. Katie?
I like the mandatory reporting training because I've been told I've had to do that before, but that was very informative on how to do it effectively and not like, well, you know, you can't tell me anything now. Kind of thing. 'Cause I know it's happened before where you tell an adult something you can never tell you anything ever again.
Yeah.
And that was very informative on how.
Yeah, and then as we go, we put all these things in your notebooks to your leader guide, so you get those pages of those trainings, and then you can hopefully refer that to people that are new, as we have new people stepping in all the time to be leaders. So we'll help you guys work through that. If you are new, we'll talk through those things. And it was great having Carrie, because Carrie has experience with the school system and how they do the mandatory reporting too. So that was such a pleasure having you at that meeting. So because it really helped us get some stuff accomplished. What training do we need? Katie. I looked everywhere else in this case. So.
I feel personally, and then with some other people I've seen, is when we do announcements and that kind of stuff, we can be very awkward and do it ineffectively. And I think we all need a little help doing that. Because
Okay, announcement training. All right.
Or just upfront training.
Yeah.
Maybe just like
Social training.
We've been talking about it.
That's what I wrote.
So
Speaker training.
Yeah.
yeah.
All kinds of speaker training. Okay, Nick.
It was just like discipleship training,
Discipleship training.
learning how to disciple kids personally, like one-on-one.
Okay. Cool. And then some of these things we also might already have in your leader guide, so make sure you're reading those things, because
if you go through the small group portion of your reader guide,
Well, there's that.
you're
I'm
going to
talking
have a
about, like,
lot of discipleship
outside
training.
of the 1 a week type
Really,
thing.
it's a similar concept though.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty similar concept. It's instead of 1-on-5 or 1-on-6, it's 1-on-1.
Right.
You use the same type of. So
So there is homework involved in being a youth
But
leader.
sometimes
Yeah.
just reading it for me, it's not enough. I need like what we did since like freshman thing, kind of role playing thing. If I read it, I'm like,
Yes.
oh, okay, and then it actually happens, and I'm like, ah. Let me go back.
How about practice if you're
Yeah.
Yeah, role playing.
Play, let's practice.
Facials.
well, and two.
You want facials? What
You want to
facial
get a
training?
facelift?
Next is going to be asking for Manny and Petties. What's the deal here? So, we'll have pedicure day. Okay. Sorry, let's go to Debbie really quick.
I haven't looked on this, I'm sorry, I haven't said it as explained, but some of the kids want to do Bible studies at school, and they're not sure when to do it.
That will definitely help you out too. Yeah. That's going to be in there. I don't know that.
We want to start an apologetics club, but we're gonna do it now.
Actually,
Yes,
and what was
an
really cool.
apologetics
and-
club. Yeah.
Whoa, you guys got talking about this.
So
That was offered at Hume Lake also too. That's some of the things that we're talking to our camps about what we need. And that was one of the things that was really affirmed when Brian Holland did a class on that. I was really like stoked. There was at least 10, Life Point students in there, and maybe 100 people that were in the room. There was 10 Life Point students in there learning how to study the Bible and then how to then take that study and use it. So plus we actually did that as a teaching time too. So.
yeah, for Bible study at school, we're also we're still working things out, getting everything set up the right way. But it takes 3 students and 1 faculty member to form a club. You can do a club for whatever reason you want, as long as the faculty is okay with what you're doing in their classroom. It's all good. But as far as Bible study goes, there's one Christian club on campus at Douglas, which we're looking at starting another one. We're going to start, right, but this is a Bible study thing that's led by students and facilitated by youth leaders in the community and a faculty member. But so that would be one thing, and it's at lunch once a week during school. It's Fellowship of Christian Athletes. You don't have to be an athlete to join it, but that's how it started. Anyway, so that's another option, and they have more tools. If we once we get that going, FCA offers more tools to do things like that.
It will be. It will be. At
It
some
will
point.
be, but
We have to get the FCA once it's on campus at Douglas High. It's going to be easier for the principals to have follow and see if it has to trickle down. Yeah.
and it just started back up at Carson.
There's FCAs at elementary schools though, so I mean it can be done. So it can be brought all the way down. So.
I think starting those kinds of things, it should happen, but I know at CBMS it's probably very hard for students to start things. Like
The students have to start things,
I
Katie, so
know,
we won't
but
even go there.
they
Sorry.
kind of-
Nope.
Yeah, but
Not going
we'll
there.
help them do
Students
it. But
have to start it.
I'm just saying it's very difficult.
Right. I understand you saying that, but we can't even do really anything. It's all has to be student initiated by law.
we can
so.
give them what to do.
It's
but
got to
yeah.
be student run. It can't be.
I know, but we need help figuring out how to start it.
Right,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
that's why
saying. We will do that.
We're
yes.
we're working with James Kitchen with the FCA to work on that because they have an insurance policy nationwide. They have a whole bunch of other things that just basically go into every school.
We'll get all the paperwork for them,
Yeah.
and then they have to fill it out. But students have to do that part.
Students
But
have to
yeah,
do
we'll
the
help
legwork.
facilitate how that sets up. But we can only, if we do every school in the county, we'll run ourselves ragged, and none of it will be any good. So we're going to start with Douglas, and we'll move it down from there. But it's a big step forward to start it at Douglas because there's not much going on.
Okay, some of the stuff we're going to have to read, so off of your papers, so we'll collect those in just a few minutes. But number 3 was a trick question on training. So hopefully everybody said yes, and you already heard we're doing a training in Reno. So if you didn't circle yes, you can go back and cross out your no and circle yes. We understand that we'll have a ride situation worked out when we do that too. So going to the backside. We're going to roll through these really quickly because we just can't spend the time. We're just going to read them off so that we can go. And then, Brian, if you'll go ahead and walk around and reflect them. Oh,
Start a timer.
am I on the timer? I'm on 2-minute timer. Teaching. Well, what was like the best lesson you heard this year and why? I'm sorry we had to just run through this. So, what issue? I'm so glad you guys were talking though. That's really good.
Quick poll: Who had something from LifePoint, Student Ministries, or otherwise when they wrote down best lesson you heard? Who didn't? Who heard something outside of that and wrote down what it was? Awesome, great.
Okay.
Cool.
What issue are teens dealing with that we are not covering? That's a big concern for us. We don't want to have blind spots. So if there's something that you think of that if you came up with, say, oh, you know what, they have never addressed this that I know of. Like I said, some of you guys are coming in new, so you might not know what we've done. Or it's okay for us to have a refresher. There's certain things that we calendar in through 3D. Brian and I sit down in March and go over all the stuff. We'll be using this information even then to make sure that we're calendaring in topics that are really a necessity for our students. So we want to hear that, and so even though we won't hear that, we will read that. So you will be heard in your written word. So, what do our teens need to hear more about? And that goes back to the previous question a little bit. We obviously are addressing certain things. If there's something that you think we need to be more repetitive or communicate more or longer, whatever, better, however, we'll do that. And then events, what event that you experienced this last year or heard about should we continue and why? And then what event needs a makeover or cancellation? So, like I said, we are willing to chop sacred cows. We are moving to the next portion. Brian, if you would collect the previous thing, I can pass out this one. You guys can get started on this. This is a spiritual gift assessment. This is present. We've done past. We're moving to present. And thank you, timer. Okay, I did it. So, as you're taking a potty break or a food break, I'm going to keep talking. We're going to do a spiritual gift assessment. Woo! And you can call it an inventory, you can call it a test, whatever you like to call it. If you don't like test, call it assessment. This is a gauge. This is actually not a test, so that's the one good thing not to call it a test, because it's a gauge. There's 133 questions. You cannot get any of them wrong. 133. I'll say this: when you go through the assessment, please be honest and be quick. You're gonna give us your better answer if you go with your first response. Okay? First response. Try not to second guess it. If you like miss a word and you reread it in your brain, you go, wait, that was right. That's okay. But try to go with your first response because that's going to be probably more constructive for us. And when you get done, don't look at the back now, but when you get done on the back page of page number 4, there is like a place where you can put your answers, okay? So, actually, you have to put your answers as you go. So, I guess you have to look at that page. That's odd. So, yeah. No, what's that?
You could just circle what your answers are and then at the very end.
Yeah, you can write them down off the thing. But when you respond, you're going to be responding with number 3. It will be the highest, meaning it's 90 to 100% true. It's consistent. It's about that's who you are. Number 2 is most of the time, let's say 50 to 90%. You say, yeah, that's, I'm a B or C on that. Then you would put a 2. 1 is some of the time, once in a while. Make sure you're honest. Like, okay, it's not that you flunked, okay, at that thing. It's just not you. Okay, and then 0 is no, that is not true of you. Like it says I love to give $1 million every year, and then the other part is like, oh, it's still working through that with God. Then put a 0. It's okay. Just be honest, because we want to make sure that we get a better idea of who you are. And so before we do that, you need to get on the line again. I had to wait till everybody was back on the line.
Get on the line.
Just get on the line. Katie's trying to figure out, is there a pattern? Okay, this time, this time you are going to get on the line in the order of your birth year, starting with the youngest to the oldest.
Oldest meaning what?
And whoa.
Month and year or year?
Okay,
Just
and
year.
you cannot talk. Year, birth year, and you cannot talk. Youngest to oldest, go. And you have to continue touching. Max and Ryan are like, we gotta move. Oh, you guys need to go back to where you started. Jenna talked.
Oh.
Yep.
Sorry. Oh,
Everybody go back to where you started. And no talking. Oldest to youngest. Youngest still oldest, right? Okay. Katie, what's your year?
96, 94, 89, 80,
77.
67.
All right, go ahead and have a seat. Good job.
I call immediately when we put 80, go to the end.
We know you're the youngest.
Now I feel little.
Okay, the question star number one on the first page is the
I guess given all the people to the other side of me, I shouldn't complain about feeling old.
You can write 301, or sorry, 3310. Or you can yeah.
It's your test.
Yes, you may.
Tara, what you?
Please write your name on the assessment.
Brian, yes.
Nice try.
Brian. Let's not put Brian.
That'd be a nice time.
Some of you guys have done some of these before. This is one that has been given with the three. Some are pretty cool. hear you ask them all the time. So you guys were talking, I think, the other day about total depravity and other things. Like total depravity, that's a theology concept. So so not everybody wants to talk.
Yeah,
about
we
that.
just have fluffy
A
conversations.
lot of people just want
Real
to say,
fluffy.
"I have sinned. I need Jesus."
Amen.
That's as simple as total depravity can be. Otherwise, you get into, well, are you
Maybe
like
I-
Calvinist? Who cares?
And and on that too, there's some training that comes from a half-day seminar, and then there's some that comes from deeper, like effective discipleship isn't something you can just cover in 2 hours in the morning.
When I don't see your face on the video, I want to do this while you're talking, just so it just comes out like that.
You know what? And on that topic too, a lot of stuff that I learned about discipleship came from being discipled.
Yeah.
Too. And the guy that discipled me when I was in high school, I learned a lot of the stuff I still use. Same types of concepts and the same way I do stuff is from being discipled.
He's discipled well by me, and so he's looking for help.
That's exactly it.
You want somebody else to disciple?
Right.
Look at that.
And guys, we're always seeking to improve. So we really do like the critique that we got, on your forums, and we want more of that critique. We need that critique. We will never accept anything that doesn't have a name on it. Okay, just to be honest with you, because that's not a critique. That's a slam. That's a critic.
On that, can I share something?
Yeah.
I one time had a leader step out of the ministry I was leading, and during the exit kind of portion of the conversation, hey, well, let's talk over your experience and what we can do moving forward and how we can bless you as you leave. This leader started bringing up a lot of things that I had never heard, and we had a weekly leaders meeting, and I'd never heard 90% of what was said during that exit conversation. And some of it was heavy stuff, huge burdens that were destroying this person's joy for ministry that were never shared up. And unfortunately, they were often shared sideways and down. Chances are the person at the same level as you doesn't either. And so talking about it without any solution is gossip, really. And so it doesn't help anything in keeping any, even if it's a hard critique, even if it's, I keep hearing is, Brian, when you teach, nobody has any idea what you're talking about. And if if it seems like, man, that would really crush him to find that out, yeah, well, it might make me get better at teaching too. So don't let me ruin, every night that I'm on stage if I'm terrible at it every time. Something like that. And Scott brought one to me recently of hey, this is some feedback I heard we got from some students, and we want to, be able to work on that so we're not leaving somebody out in the dark, and making sure that we're not speaking to only a small group of people, but making sure it's broad enough that everybody gets it. And so don't hold those back until you're out, Yeah. Please share with that. We want to get better. So, and we want to do this well. So if you have something, bring it to us, and the appropriate place is to bring it to us.
Don't bring it to us on a Saturday or a Sunday when we're in the middle of something.
Right.
And if you need to talk to us, set up an appointment, we'll do that. Also, give us a heads up on what the appointment is, because there's times, some of you guys might have read my status update the other day. I had a nightmare. I woke up from a nightmare about just I had done a horrible job over the last year, and I had this nightmare of this person telling me how bad I'd done in all these different places where I'd ruined students' lives, and I woke up in a sweat over it. I'm seriously, that was my my nightmare.
And then the nightmare continued because I was like, Scott, quit our meeting.
Yeah. It was one of those things where, it was a pain from legalism in the past, meaning stuff that I held on to and people had not critiqued fairly or kindly. Or when you love somebody, you tell them what's wrong, but you do it with care. And so that's why we say always put a name on it. Always be willing to
you know, if it's a Sunday morning when it's happening, we just got done teaching, or at Axiom, we just got done teaching, and you have this really great idea, and you think we blew you off because 2 weeks later we haven't anything about your idea. We probably forgot it because our brain is still in the recoil mode of, I could have said this like that, and it's not that we're being selfish or prideful. We're examining, is there anything else I could have done in that talk to present the gospel?
And we're leading a service.
Yeah, and yeah, you're just kind of doing that, and then, you know, then someone says, oh, I have this super amazing idea. Well, fax it to us, or not fax it. Yeah, that'd be blown off. Yeah.
Please fax it to Scott.
Text us or call us, or, you know,
That machine.
obviously do it with care, because we'll take any critique. If we don't know what it is, we can't fix it either. I mean, that's what it comes back to too. Katie.
I can send them fax.
So, Katie,
With a fax machine. Don't worry about it. No.
I do.
What is it?
Email,
With Google.
text, Facebook message.
Yeah.
Give me a picture. I understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, I will often, some of you have heard me say this, if you want me to forget what you're telling me, tell it to me right after service or right before service, especially if I'm speaking that day.
Used to be an old adage, don't tell the pastor his dog died before he preaches. You kind of read the sermon and you forget about everything anyway. So let's look at the calendar. This is our future portion.
Yay!
And Mac has the first question for the calendar.
So what is the difference between Elevate Weekend and Fast Forward?
Okay. Oh, I will explain all that. We'll get to as we go through them. Let's go through actually in order. That way we can kind of answer things. Also, yes, quickly. Okay. We are honestly not going to get through it that quickly. I'm just going to be honest. So, we'll have to meet with you because I know you guys have to leave right now.
There's a video. You can watch it later.
There might be a video.
Part 5.
It'll be in 27 segments, and
Yes.
half of it will be missing. So, okay. We did our best to brainstorm and put as many dates. These are there will obviously be TBAs to be announced later that are missing off of here. There are also dates that we just don't have a clue about that we had to stay away from. There will also be things that will change. They're just schedules will change. And
This is tentative. Not
this is our
set in stone.
best guesstimate, whatever you want. Best guesstimate. There we go. August 17th through September 15th. We wanted to tell you where we were teaching for the rest of the year. I just couldn't fit on the calendar in the way that once I had it all on the calendar, it was like, it was a hodgepodge. But we will be doing our blockbusters just along the lines with the church. Axiom actually goes a week longer, so it goes through September 22nd. Our teaching is scheduled out through March. Yeah, so
There are little gaps here and there, but
yeah,
for the
there's
most
little
part.
gaps here. Some of them are for like weird and wild one-offs, things like that. And from the response that we got from the students, we'll be continuing to add in those little one-shot weird and wild one-offs because people love it. So, yeah. Actually, you got told, somebody said, I've been hearing you teach for a year, and that talk on Micaiah was like the best you ever did. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So what's my second favorite, or my second best? I don't really remember. I'm like, okay, we'll go with Micaiah. So sometimes you just go, okay, just take the compliment, run. September 4th is our REACH training. If you were in REACH, we'll also be doing our team craft that night. Last year we did T-shirts. If you have a better idea, please tell us what your better idea is. We would love to hear it. If you have it right now, you can even throw your hand up. So, but we did a T-shirt for our team last year. It's the theme this year is the red, white, and blue out for the September 11th. So we do a craft to kind of promote our portion of that because we're joining with Kids Quest and Breakout for the Blue Wow this year. It's September 11th, so we thought we'd make it a little more patriotic and brand new.
Red, white, and blue, wow.
So if you have an idea for the team craft, we don't have it yet, and we're willing to hear from those who had creative communication or crafty, whatever your spiritual gift is there. See if there's craftsmanship or those, throw them out there to us, we'll take it.
Yeah, if you want to build us something, craftsmanship, people.
But you only have like a week to do it, so get on it. So, friendship bracelets.
Oh boy.
All right.
Not wearing them.
All right. I'm really off track now. All right. September 12th through 14th, Elevate Weekend. We just want to tell you that Brian and I do some training throughout the year, and we wanted to actually kind of put that on the calendar so you know. We would love for those to get to interception. Intercession. There we go.
Palomalu.
There we go.
Gift of interception.
The whole backfield for this. Those
Everybody
are
who
the
plays
gifts
the
of
Cowboys.
intercession. Obviously, Corey. Now we're going to look at you for that. So, we'll be going to Elevate to a weekend where we hang out with them, and it's actually a Thursday, Friday part of like morning to Saturday. We just evaluate the camps that we've gone to. So we'll have a chance this time to speak into the camp that we just had with Elevate, and then we'll look at the future, what they have going on. We probably won't do winter camp because if winter camp hits, that's going to be a big snowy ride that direction. But there's just some of the things that they're going to talk about, and they'll give us a lot more information on fast forward at that point too. So that's a weekend that possibly 3D will be joining Brian and I. He might be able to do those 3 days too. October 2nd through 7th, please pray for Brian and I. We will be in San Diego. I did not put sunny San Diego because the last 2 years it pretty much has rained the whole week. So don't say, oh, he's in paradise. No, we will be working the whole time. We are volunteers for youth specialties, and that's the National Youth Workers Convention that we are working at. It's amazing. It's excellent. Brian's been as
An attendee.
an attendee or delegate. I have worked the last 11 or 12 of these, and it is pretty much you work from 7 a.m. or earlier because you might have a breakfast for your team, and then you work all the way through like 11 to midnight sometimes. So you go to your room, you shower, you sleep, you shower, you get up, whatever. I don't know how you do it. Sometimes that's how messed up your day is. And there's times where like on my team in the store, you don't even get like a lunch break. You just like bring in pizza and you just slice in while you're talking to somebody. I'm just trying to do everything. So please pray for us because it's a great week. But one of the things that we would love to offer to you is we will both get a resource card that has the whole convention. So if you want to go to youthspecialties.com or youthspecialties.com.
NYWC.
Or you can go to NYWC and you can see some of the classes that they'll be giving. If there is something that you would like off of our resource card, meaning we get a card and we get the whole MP3 of the whole convention, so we can record it, put it on a disc, or send you a file. We're allowed to use it within our church. You can't give it to anybody outside of our student leadership, student ministry leadership. But if there's a topic that you like, oh, I need that, and Nick, there'll be discipling, there'll be other things like that that you guys might want. So please tell us, and we will get you a copy. So, but we'll be working. But that's one of the benefits is we actually get the whole convention on that. So
That's like 3 days of speaking plus like 100 breakout sessions or something like that. Close to.
yeah, and you're talking. Brian will get a chance to be in all the general sessions because he's working in that area.
Main stage.
I'll get a chance to be in probably 4 or 5 of them, but we don't get to go to any of the workshops or any of that stuff because we're constantly working. But we will have all those to listen to. So if there's anything you want to hear about and you want to learn about youth ministry, it'll probably be spoken out there. So we can get you those resources. Also, if there's a book that you're looking for that we could get you, we'd love to pick that up for you also. So, the Axiom costume party will be scheduled for October 27th. The Reach costume party will be scheduled for October 30th. That will actually be a Wednesday night. So we try to put some of those early Reach dates there so you guys can have those. November 2nd, you guys can circle that, put on the calendar, please. That'll be your next worker meeting.
That's you guys.
November 2nd. That's a Saturday again. Most of football will be over, so hopefully we're not competing in football at that point. So I know there might be
Unless
other
you guys
sports,
make
you know,
state.
football might. 15th, that looks to be the game that they're going to give us. We're trying to get the Clippers because then you'd have Griffin and Paul and stuff. That'd be kind of fun, but they don't give you the Clippers anymore because they have All-Stars. So, but that is probably the weekend we are going to
Let me
fast
ask you a
forward.
question. That's junior high and high school?
That is just high school.
Just
It's a high school over.
they do a part.
They do Planet Wisdom,
Which is open to high school as well this year.
which is open to high school reach leadership and sleds.
Oh.
Yes. No, there's a caveat. Yeah, no, we have to. I can't just open up for it.
Open to reach leaders and sleds.
Yes.
Yeah,
So that means, yeah.
Yeah, the people currently celebrating.
Yes. Yeah, everybody in this room. So it's fun. And please, if you're an adult leader and you want to go on those things, tell us soon because we would love to book you. Let's see. Zoom. November 27th will be no reach. We're not going to meet the day before Thanksgiving. That's just too much. So, yeah, we'll have a turkey party. I don't know, at your house. Okay. If you don't show up,
Don't invite me up.
sure.
Right,
And-
that's why we're going to use your
And
house.
it's perfect that it's Turkey Day because it's my anniversary too. So.
Oh.
Happy anniversary! Thank you. Okay, if you want to write in my birthday, it's not. Okay, November 30th would be the SMR decorating day. We did not have the schedule on last year, and I did a lot of the work, and Brian helped a little, and Jessica, Brenner helped a little. This is for as many of you guys who want to show up and other students that want to join us. This is when you invite someone that you are Timothy to. To, that's wrong. That's supposed to be December 6th. I don't know why it's the 13th. Cross out the 13th. See, some December 6th, the student ministry team party at my house.
Yay.
I know, but